In this episode, we are going to deep dive into the old wives' tale that you have heard, and we're going to try to figure out why it is that it takes a week to get your weight back down after you have cheated. Stay tuned.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. Have you heard the wives' tale? A moment on your lips, forever on your hips. I know I've heard that. I mean, I think I originally heard it from my mom. You know, she never talked about weight and stuff with us, but a moment on your lips, forever on your hips. Now, listen, we know that's not forever on your hips, but there is actually quite a bit of truth to this old wives' tale. Why is it that it takes a week to get our weight back down and get back down to baseline when we have cheated? There is some science. We're going to deep dive into it. We're going to break down 2 items that I have picked for this podcast so that we all know what they are. That way we can all relate to them. And we're going to go step by step on what happens so that you can understand a moment on the lips, forever on the hips. It does cost us quite a bit of time, myself included, by the way. And there are some things that you might not be thinking about when it comes to cheating. In your mind, oh, ain't no big deal. It's just a little bit. It's just a little cheat, just one bite, just one slice. It's just one piece. It's just one whatever. But then you're struggling for a week, and it's normally a week. And by the way, it's a week for me too. It's a week for me too. I recently cheated, and it took an entire week for me to regulate, start feeling good again, to regulate and everything. So let's start. Hey, by the way, thank you. Thank you for being here and listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I sure appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you being a part of the Rebel community. I don't take that lightly. This podcast does well, and it's because of you. So thank you. And I love doing this. Okay, we're going to talk about a Costco pizza from the food court, because we all know what that is. Costco pizza slice. You can get a Costco and a soda. I mean, a Costco slice of pizza and a soda for $1.50 and in the food court. Yes, you can. And they have not raised their prices, by the way. Well, I don't think they have. I haven't had one in forever. So correct me if I'm wrong. Comment below and tell me, am I wrong on that? Or is it still $1.50? I do believe it's $1.50 because I do know that when everyone else was raising their price, Costco decided not to on their Costco pizzas. I think you can get a hot dog and a soda for $1.50 or a pizza, slice of pizza and a soda for $1.50. I'm not sure. I know that Miles is a big fan of the Costco slice of pizza. I have had them before. I do know what it tastes like. I don't make a habit of going and doing that. In fact, I can't remember the last time I did that. But when I was married to Miles, he would always want to go get a Costco slice of pizza, although Miles does a great job keeping his weight down, so he does not do that often. But let's break down using a Costco slice of pizza from the food court on what happens when you eat one and what happens to your body, what's going on, the physiology behind it. We're going to break down what's going on in your body and why it's so hard to get back on track after that. First of all, the Costco pizzas are all made with pizza robots. Did you know that? Yes. Every single pizza, because it's made with a robot, every single pizza is identical, and every single slice of a pizza is identical. You never have to worry about getting shortchanged on toppings or, having different amount of sauce on each slice because it's made with a robot. And this is very well known. This is not some insider information. Everybody knows that Costco uses robots to make their pizzas. So when I give you these numbers across the board, this is what it's like pretty much for every slice of Costco pizza from the food court. Now, each slice of pizza is 700 calories. Let's talk about the calories. I burn an average of 220 calories on my runs every morning with Hazel. Now, I'm not going to beat up this subject about exercise and calories, but I do want to bring it up because you guys have heard me talk about this numerous times. You can't outtrain a bad diet. You cannot outrun your fork. You've heard me talk about this, but it does need to be mentioned again. So 220 calories. I burn 220 calories on my run with Hazel. I do this every morning with her. She is at this time that I'm recording this, she's 9-month-old, full blood Belgian Malinois. Even when I had Annabelle, even when I had Vinny, I did this every morning with these guys. You have to exercise your dog. And now that I have a Belgian Malinois, which is a working dog, and she's extremely energetic, she absolutely has to have that 3-mile run in the mornings. Takes me under 30 minutes to do it. And I burn 220 calories. At the time I'm recording this, I'm just a hair under 5'7". I'm 145 pounds and I'm 46 years old. All that plays into the amount of calories that I burn. I'm also in really good shape, so I burn fewer calories. 220 calories on my run. So it would take me more than 3 runs to burn off 1 slice of Costco pizza from the food court. More than 3 runs. Most of you guys who are listening to this, you're not running at all. You're not an athlete at all. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not saying you need to be. I'm just saying that a lot of you guys can't even wrap your head around going for a walk, let alone going for a run in 8 degrees Fahrenheit with your dog every morning at 4:05 a.m. You can't wrap your head around that. That's just not in the realm of possibility for you. So that should make it even more shocking that I would have to do more than 3 runs to burn off 1 slice that I so willy-nilly, so haphazardly shoved down my pie hole. That's what we do, isn't it? We shove this crap down our pie hole without even thinking about the consequence, without even thinking this is going to cost me more than 3 runs. We don't think about it. I mean, right there alone, I could end the podcast and say, good night, folks. And you would understand why almost 9 out of 10 people in this country are overweight and 4 out of 10 are obese. And we have a huge epidemic of disease. That we have obesity is killing more people than drugs and alcohol combined. This is just acceptable. We just don't, and doctors are not even allowed to talk to their patients anymore about them being overweight, because we're offending too many people. This is costing our healthcare system. It's costing our tax dollars. It is a huge problem, but we're not talking about it. So we could stop right there and say, hey, hello, because we're just shoving crap in our mouth and we're not thinking about what it's going to cost us. This slice of pizza is going to cost me a little more than 3 runs. Those runs are cold, by the way. They're cold. Sometimes my body hurts. I don't want to do them. It takes a lot of effort to get out there and run every single morning. A lot of effort. And the fact that this Costco pizza, I don't know if any pizza is that good, but that's what sometimes we think. Well, I'll just burn it off. Did you guys know that I burned 3,500 calories when I hiked rim to rim of the Grand Canyon? 26 miles, 6,800 feet of climbing. It took me 9 hours to do that. That's 1 pound of fat. So some of you guys who are carrying over 100 pounds, could you imagine walking across the entire Grand Canyon, one of the 7 wonders of the world, 100 times to get your weight off? No, you can't. It's impossible. So right there, 700 calories in a Costco food court slice of pizza. The Costco food court pizza has 70 grams of carbs. I'm looking down at my notes. I took notes on all this before I started this podcast. That's 259 grams of water, because for every gram of carb, your body hangs on to 3.7 grams of water. I broke that down, and that ends up being, you're going to see a 2/3 of a pound of weight gain on the scale the next morning just from the carbs in the Costco pizza. 2/3 of a pound. 2/3 of a pound just from the carbs. Okay. Now we're talking about the inflammatory oils. Now, Costco does use olive oil in their pizza dough. They get their dough out of a company out of Brooklyn, and they use olive oil, but they don't use olive oil in the rest of it. There is oil in the pepperoni. There is oil in the vegetables. There's oil in the cheese, and it's inflammatory oils. So you are going to have an inflammatory response from the oils. Right there. Just know that right off the bat. By the way, the Reader's Digest ranked the Costco food court pizza one of the top 16 most unhealthiest foods. Did I say that right? Most unhealthiest? Top 16 unhealthiest foods at Costco food court pizza. And I know it tastes good. I'm not saying it doesn't taste good. It tastes freaking amazing. I mean, the sauce in is amazing. It's amazing. Everybody knows it's amazing. But this is what's happening. Also, Costco's using a low quality sodium. They're not using Redmond real salt. They're using a bleached processed sodium in their pizza. So you're not going to see the proper flushing happening. You're going to see more bloating than what you would if you had a good quality salt. We get all of our salt from Redmond out of Salt Lake City. You can use the discount code RED15 to get 15% off of your Redmond real salt products. There's also a 1/4 cup of oil in the cardboard box at the bottom of every pizza from Costco, not slice, but every whole pizza. They have discovered a 1/4 cup of oil. So when I say Costco uses a lot of oil, they use a lot of oils. And I guess this is currently being looked at as a way to improve. It's greasy. It's greasy. And you can have grease at the bottom of the plate that it comes on or whatever the heck it comes on. I don't remember. There is plenty of oil on the Costco pizza. And don't try to give me that baloney that you just dab the oil off. Okay, that is a little bit better, but it is quite oily. So when you have that much oil, you're going to have inflammation. Now, the glycemic index of a Costco pizza is 70 out of 100. What does that mean? That means it's going to trigger and it's going to require a lot of insulin to bring your blood sugar down. So every time you eat anything, your body needs insulin. Insulin is a vital hormone that you absolutely have to live. Insulin is triggered from your pancreas, and it causes the cell to open up and for the nutrients to come in. You only need a small amount of insulin to do its job, and you need it quickly. And then you need it to get out of the blood system, because when insulin is present, the fat burning hormones are gone. They're not around. And come on, fat burning hormones, just the sound of that should make you happy. Yes, epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenaline, glucagon. You have a lot of fat burning hormones that we want and that we need. But insulin, you need it to open up the cell for everything to come in. The problem is the Costco food court pizza is going to spike that blood sugar high and require loads of insulin to bring that blood sugar back down. So that's a high blood sugar spike. High blood sugars drive disease. We don't want to spike our blood sugar high like that. You do want to, your blood sugar is going to spike a little bit, even with an avocado. It's going to spike a little bit. I don't like the word spike, but it's going to go up. And if you've ever worn a continuous glucose monitor, a CGM, which I've worn it many times just for data purposes, just for fun, you're going to see that it actually looks on your chart like a spike. And diabetics on here that are familiar with what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying. It goes up. And then the idea is you want that blood sugar to come right back down. You don't want it to stay up. You don't want it to look like a rainbow where it takes all day long to slowly come down. You want it to go up and then bam, it comes right back down so that you can go back to burning fat. But if it takes loads of insulin to get your blood sugar coming back down, not only is your blood sugar too high to begin with, which happens when the glycemic index is 70 out of 100, it's going to take a long time to come back down. So that's a long time you're without your fat burning hormones. And high blood sugar, like I said, drives cancer, drives disease. We know this to be true. high blood sugars are not good. You got unchecked high blood sugars are going to lead to peripheral neuropathy, retinal neuropathy, impotence, high blood sugars. People get toes amputated, feet amputated. They have all kinds of problems from high blood sugar, from unchecked high blood sugars. So we don't want to just be spiking that blood sugar all the time high and then have it not come back down all day long. That's why, of course, we believe in only eating 2 or 3 meals a day. No snacking. Snacking is keeping that blood sugar high all day long. Not good. Not good. So that's pretty high for a food product. 70 out of 100. Pretty high for a food product. Another thing is a Costco pizza from the food court has a lot of fat. Of course, fat is not bad. However, when you combine carbs with fat, you have a tendency to store the fat. So what happens? Again, insulin causes the carbs trigger insulin. Insulin causes the cell to open up. Everything comes in, the nutrients, the manganese, all the good stuff comes in. And also all the bad stuff comes in. So sometimes when you have a lot of fat and you eat fat with the carbs, that ends up being stored as fat. So you don't want to combine the fat and the carbs because you're storing fat. Well, don't nobody want to store fat because you've been working hard to get that fat off your body. A great way to store fat is a slice of pizza, really, because you've got a lot of carbs from the bread. And then you've got a lot of fat from the grease and other forms of fat, the cheese, the pepperoni, stuff like that. So this is not a good combination. Another bad combination is if you have French toast, for example. You've got French toast with butter and syrup. There's fat in the butter, there's sugar in the syrup, and now you've got all this French toast. The French toast is going to spike your blood sugar. The sugar is going to spike your blood sugar, all that stuff. And then you've got fat from the bacon, if you're eating bacon or sausage. And then you've got butter, and you're just storing fat. It's a great way to pack on fat when you combine fat with carbs. So don't do that. Pizza is a great way to store that fat. So you really have quite a situation going on with this Costco slice of pizza. A lot of things happening here. And this is why your weight's going to be up the next morning. You're going to be swollen. Your scale's going to be up. You're going to be retaining a lot of water. Let's look at a package of peanut M&Ms. A package of peanut M&Ms. This is another example that I want to use that it's something we're all familiar with. I'm definitely familiar with the peanut M&Ms. I absolutely love peanut M&Ms. I can't have them because I was addicted to them at one point really bad. I used to eat a pound of peanut M&Ms every single night. But something that we're all familiar with is are M&Ms. Whether you like them or not, doesn't matter. You know what they are. In a package of peanut M&Ms, a package, 240 calories. So that's right around a run for me. Eating a package of M&Ms would cost me an entire run with Hazel at 4 something in the morning when it's 8 degrees Fahrenheit out there. The package of M&Ms has 34 grams of carbs and 31 grams of sugar. Just the carbs alone, not even counting the sugar, is going to cause a 1/4 pound weight gain right there. A 1/4 pound weight gain. But it also has a glycemic index of 70 out of 10. So once again, you are really spiking that blood sugar higher than it should go. And it's taking loads of insulin to bring your blood sugar back down. Now your pancreas is pumping out insulin like Jesus is coming back. Like it's just, it's working really hard. And those of you guys who are pre-diabetic or type 2, your pancreas is already showing signs of wearing out. And now you've just overloaded it again with your package of M&Ms. So that's going to take a lot of insulin to bring down. It's going to take a long time to bring that down. And now you've got sugar to deal with. So now from the neck down, once you swallow something, pancakes, a croissant, a Costco muffin, like whatever, that even though you don't think sugar, it turns into sugar. So now you've got, loads of carbs. You've got 3 days worth of sugar. My Code Red Rebels eat maybe 10 grams of sugar a day. Now you've got more than 3 days worth of sugar you're having in one package. So you've got all these carbs, all these sugar. Now you've reintroduced sugar back into your body. So your mind, the brain lights up in the same spot when a heroin addict sees heroin than when a sugar addict sees sugar. And don't try to tell me that you ain't a sugar addict. Yes, you are. If you're listening to this right now, you're a sugar addict. Yes. Or a recovering sugar addict like me. I don't keep I don't keep M&Ms in my house. You can't find any M&Ms in here. Are you kidding me? I would never keep sugar in the house. That's one of the top 3 rules of being a Code Red Rebel for long term. You always get on that scale every morning. You always drink your water every day, and you never, never, never allow sugar to stay in your house, because you cannot be trusted as a recovering sugar addict. Recovering drug addicts do not keep drugs in their cupboard. So now you've reintroduced sugar back into your body, and now you've got to go through the sugar detox. And by the way, before you even go through the sugar detox, your body is going to start this vicious cycle of now wanting more sugar because you become habituated to it, and it's going to take more to give you that same high. And don't try to tell me you don't get a high from having some M&Ms. You do get a high from it. Your body does get that hit, just like an addict. And it gets the same kind of hit when you have a croissant, because that's such a high glycemic index that it's the same hit. It's that same, you might not know it, but I mean, I remember all the times I've been to Europe, they have croissants covered in chocolate. Oh my Lord. I mean, you can't. Oh, I mean, Elmer's Diner, my favorite diner, they've got pancakes covered with chocolate. You can't, there's nothing out there worse than that. Like, oh my goodness. So you have reintroduced that sugar in your body. It started this vicious cycle of looking for the next hit, of looking for the next sugar amount. And now you are on that cycle. Now you're on that hamster wheel of wanting more and more and more. And every one of you know what I'm talking about. You know that, that it just hijacks your brain, doesn't it? Of wanting more sugar. And now you're thinking of, when can I get more sugar? And when I say sugar, again, it could be a Subway sandwich. Like your body doesn't see the sugar, carbs. I interchange those all the time. Sugar, carbs. Your body doesn't see the difference. I mean, it's more severe when you've got M&Ms, because now you've got a lot of sugar and a lot of carbs, or if you got a chocolate covered croissant, a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs. You just have a real dangerous combination here. So one package of peanut M&Ms. And what do we do? Like we hold the peanut M&Ms. I've done this many times, and you guys are going to be able to relate to me. You hold the M&Ms and you're driving and you're just popping one in your mouth at it, or you're tipping them up and you're letting multiple fall in your mouth at once. You can have that 2-ounce package, that 1.7-ounce package polished off in a matter of just a couple of minutes if you eat them like that. Maybe some of you are like, I savor it. It doesn't make this whole thing any better. Like, come on, you're still doing massive damage if you're savoring it, It doesn't matter if you tip them up and you eat them within 2 minutes, or you're doing it over the course of 30 minutes, with one at a time. There aren't very many in there, you guys. You can polish off that package without even thinking about it. So once again, we are shoving crap in our pie hole. We're not thinking about it. We're thinking about the fact that our son just got a DUI. We're thinking about the fact that our daughter just got her first boyfriend. We're thinking about the fact that our grandchild is flunking math and his mom isn't doing anything about it. We're thinking about the fact that our son is going through a divorce, and now what is he going to do? We're thinking about the fact that we've got beetles eating through our tomato plants. We're thinking about a million other things. We're not thinking about what we're eating at that moment. We just so carelessly shove crap in our pie hole without understanding the consequence or the damage that it's doing. And now we've just piled off. We've just finished off. We've just polished off an entire bag of M&Ms in 2 minutes. And we've just done all this damage. This is going to cost you an entire run with my dog my dog Hazel. You could come get her, because that's what's going to. And you've just reintroduced sugar back into your body. and you've started this vicious cycle, if you are able to get off that cycle right away, you're still looking at 4 to 7 days of detox. And you're looking at a quarter of a pound up the next morning. That's just with the carbs. That's not even including the sugar. That's not even including all of it. Now you're probably looking at a stomach ache. If you stop there. But what does it do? It causes us to crave more sugar. And then you're pulling in for a caramel macchiato and a cake pop. And then you're going to go ahead and have dinner. And you're like, I'll have this shrimp at dinner. I'll be really good. But then you eat the rice that the shrimp is sitting on at Longhorn Steakhouse. It comes with a pile of rice. It's skewers of shrimp sitting on a bed of rice. You go ahead and eat the rice. And then you know what? The whole table orders a tiramisu, whatever. I'll start over tomorrow. I'm going to have the tiramisu. That's how it works. It's not just... If it was just the M&Ms, it would be enough right there to do damage. But that's not usually what happens. It causes you guys, us, to all pile it on more and more and more. And then we continue to make all these bad decisions for the rest of the day, maybe even tomorrow. And now you're looking at 4 to 7 days of a detox. So now you've got to get that back off. You got to get back off the sugar. You got to get that sugar back out of your body. And we talk about the sugar detox on other podcasts. We talk about it on the 10-pound takedown. I talk about it in numerous videos. We talk about sugar specifically on the 10-pound takedown, the dangers of sugar. It's just like dabbling. Oh Lord, I'm not going to go into that right now. Another thing that is going to make this whole thing worse is, I know for me, whenever I have carbs or sugar, when I say sugar, again, I mean carbs. Whenever I cheat, I have a hard time sleeping. And when I have a hard time sleeping, your blood sugar stays up. So you run higher. I've worn a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor. It goes in the back of your arm. And it monitors your blood sugar 24/7, and it gives you readouts. It causes me the sugar introduced into my body causes me to lose sleep. And then the lack of sleep causes my blood sugar to stay up 20 points higher on average, 20 points higher. And so my blood sugars are running high the next day. And it usually takes me 2 or 3 days just to get my blood sugar back under control, just from that cheat. So there are so many multiple things happening in your body when you cheat. You got water retention. You've got weight gain just from the water retention. Now you've got a headache. You've got a stomach ache. You're bloated. You might have diarrhea. You might have constipation. So you're having motility problems. It might cause an interruption in sleep, depending on when you eat it. If it's far from your bedtime, possibly it has been digested before, but the sugar's still present. I know for me, I'm just really sensitive when it comes to my sleeping. That's why I don't eat in the afternoons, because I can't sleep at night. I go to bed at 8 and I can't sleep if I have any food or anything in my stomach. And so now it's going to be causing 2 to 3 days of high blood sugar for me. And so now my blood sugars are running 20 points higher. I can't get my body to come back down. I can't get my blood sugars to return to baseline because of that cheat. A lot of problems are happening here, and these people are doing it over and over and over. And so once you detox from this, and once you get it back out of your body, again, it seems to be 4 to 7 days. And then on day 8, you wake up feeling fantastic. You've got to remember how hard it was for you to get back under control. You've got to remember what you just went through. When you feel like cheating again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you feel like doing margarita Mondays. And I didn't even go through alcohol. I thought about deep diving into alcohol, because alcohol is a whole different giant, a whole different monster with liver, and the way that the alcohol breaks down into sugar in our liver. I didn't even go into that. But when you feel like doing chips and salsa and margaritas with your girlfriends, when you feel like going out to Golden Corral after church, when you feel like ordering a pizza because you're too tired, when you feel like stopping by the hospital break room for a bear claw at 2 a.m. when you're working night shifts in the ER, remember this. Remember how tough it was to get your weight back down. Remember how long it took to get that water back off of your body. Remember, and it's not just like you say, well, it's just water weight. Water weight turns into real weight if you don't get it right off. And if you do back-to-back cheating, it compounds and it quickly turns into real weight. It turns into body fat quick. Remember the calories. Remember a slice of Costco pizza from the food court is 700 calories. That's going to take you 3 Cristy runs, more than 3 Cristy runs. Can you keep up with me on a run? I don't think you can. No, I don't think you can. Don't give me that baloney that you can. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't keep up with Hazel and I. If you can, let's go. If you want to have that Costco pizza, come and join Hazel and me for my run, 4:05 a.m., and we'll get 3.5 runs done so you can burn off that Costco slice of pizza. Remember how hard it was to get back on track. When you feel like cheating again, when it comes on you, when you start craving, remember it's 4 to 7 days of complete misery. It's 4 to 7 days. And I don't know about you, but I ain't got that kind of time. You know, Thanksgiving's going to be here again. Christmas is going to be here again. Your son's graduation is coming. Summer is coming. You're going to want to go back out on that boat. The time is going to be here. Your husband's going to want to take you out for a Valentine's dinner. You're going to want to wear something nice. Are you going to be miserable when that time comes? Are you going to continue to hide behind your kids in the holiday photo again this year? Are you going to continue to volunteer to take the photo again this year? Because the time is going to come. This year is going to be here. You know, I'm recording this right now at the end of January, 2023. And at 46 years old, I mean, I am very well aware the time just seems to zip by so quick. My show is going to be here. My documentary is going to be released to the world. Summer's going to be here. I'm going to go visit my sister in Kentucky. I'm going to go travel. I'm going to we're going to go to the cabin. I mean, the time is going to come. Before I know it, I'm going to be decorating again for Christmas. My condo. We're going to be decorating. I've been here in this condo for a year already. Guys, the time passes quickly. You decide right now how you're going to feel coming up then. Because it's these small decisions that are accumulated that make up. It's not the big decisions. You know, you see these highlights on Instagram of me working out and you're like, yeah, you don't realize that that's not what's growing my muscle. That's not what's getting me in shape for my show. It's all the little things that's getting me there. And same thing with you. It's all the times you say no that's getting you to your goal. Because you think, well, this time doesn't matter. I can cheat this once. It's going to cost you a week. And I just proved it to you. And a week is a long time because you could be 1% of your body weight down. Does everybody know what 1% is? We learned this in 3rd grade. The end of your number, there's a decimal point. You're going to move that to the left 2 places. So if you're 232 pounds, 1% is 2.32 pounds. You can lose 1% of your body weight every week easily, if you just say no to this. If you continue to make these back-to-back good decisions, when you continue to accumulate these good decisions. Because once you have one slice of Costco pizza, looking around, make sure Cristy doesn't see you, that's going to reset you. Now you're back to zero. Is it worth it? At that moment, it feels like it's worth it, doesn't it? In that exact moment, a moment on the lips, forever on the hips. And in that moment, it tastes like the most fulfilling thing you've ever had. In that moment, it's so good. In that moment, it really is. The tiramisu, the cake pop. In that moment, that glazed donut. In that moment, the almond roca. In that moment, the slice of pizza. In that moment, the Olive Garden breadsticks dipped in Alfredo sauce. In that moment, it tastes so good. And it lasts a matter of seconds because as soon as you swallow it, you don't have feeling left anymore. And now, what are you doing? You're chasing the next high. You got to have another bite in order to get that high again, in order to get that hit. And now you've set yourself back a week. And by the way, when you have a Costco slice of pizza at 11:30 a.m. and you say, F it, I've already cheated, I'm going to go ahead and cheat. and you continue to cheat throughout the day, telling yourself you'll start over in the morning, you've just cost yourself even more time. If you stop it right then, it's like lying to the police. The police tell you, listen, if you just tell us the truth right now, then you're not going to get in any more trouble. But what do? You weave this tapestry of lies, and now you've gotten yourself in jail. If you just stop it right then, you can undo the damage in 4 to 7 days. But if you continue to keep this party going and you continue to have junk food all that day, and maybe it lops over into the next day, and you say, I'm going to start over on Monday, you've just cost yourself even more time. So I've done that too. Like I've said, oh, I'll just start over tomorrow, and I've just cheated the rest of the whole day. And it's just going to take even longer. And you might not even come back. That's what one of our Code Red certified coaches a couple of years ago, she left Code Red. She'd lost almost 100 pounds. She was a certified coach. She was absolutely amazing. She still is amazing. And it was a cupcake. It was 3 cupcakes left over from her granddaughter's birthday party. And it was a cupcake, and they were sitting on her counter, and she had left the Code Red community. She was still at 125 pounds, which is where she needed to be, down from 205. And she, I guess, at 80 pounds down. And she said, I'm going to have this cupcake. Now I'm just going to eat the frosting off the top. And then she said, I'm just going to go ahead and eat the cupcake. And then she said, I'm going to go ahead and eat all 3 cupcakes so that they're not on my counter anymore. And she never came back after that. She kept telling herself, she told me, I kept telling myself I was going to start over tomorrow. I kept telling myself I was going to start over Monday, and Monday never came. And I continued on that path, and she's gained back all of her weight, and she's unhealthy again. This has happened to every single one of our Code Red certified coaches who have left the program, every single one of our mentors who have left the program and who have disconnected. Everybody says the same thing. I'll just start over tomorrow. It's not going to matter what I do today. Guys, and look what has happened to them. Do you think that it won't happen to you? Statistically, there's 100% chance it's going to happen to you. Do you know that my coach, Eric, is $900 a month for him to coach me into the show? And do you know when I get done with the show in 13 weeks, I'm already planning to retain him for the rest, to keep going? Not for competing. Maybe I will or not, just so I don't gain my weight back. Cristy, you're going to pay $900 a month? No, I don't think it's going to be that much, but probably $450 a month. $450 a month. I'm willing to pay that because it's worth it for me, El Jefe, to keep my weight off and not go back to where I was. I've lost 20 pounds. I'm going to lose 30 by the time I get on stage. I don't want to go back. So it's worth it to me to put measures in place. Even I know I will go back if I don't do something about it. Even I know myself, for me. You think you got a shot at keeping this weight off by yourself? No, you don't. Not unless you stay connected to the community. Even I'm looking ahead at preventing the weight regain, the rebound. I don't want to do it. And if you think you got this, you don't got this. You don't, not yet. I'm sorry, you don't. Statistically, there's 100% chance you're going to regain the weight. We've got to prevent that. You've got to know the damage that you are doing when you cheat. Moment on the lips, forever on the hips. It's not entirely true, but there is quite a bit of truth to that, isn't there? I love you guys. And I want the best for you. I want every single one of you healthy, living life at this goal weight, being healthy and strong and active and free from pain and confident. I want this for you. I want this for me. I feel so amazing. You heard that podcast, 5 things that I've noticed that have changed since losing 20 pounds. I don't want to go back, and I don't want you to go back, but not wanting it is not enough. You've got to know what's happening. You've got to be able to put measures in place. And if you listen to this podcast and you truly understand what's happening chemically in your body to make it so hard to get that weight back off, maybe this will make you pause. You can always join my VIP program. It's a program you can start when you want, you can stop when you want. And VIP Platinum with me, VIP Gold with Carrie, VIP Platinum with me is $397 a month. And that includes a lot, including 1 to 3 daily messages from me right to your phone, live messages, weekly meeting with me. You turn in your weight every Friday with me. I go over it. I give you feedback in our weekly meeting. You get a VIP breakfast. You get access to all of our promos, all of our workshops. You get access to Code Red Ringside. This is something you can do to stay connected. Is it worth it? To keep your weight off and to stay healthy? I think that you would agree that it's worth it. You can even join Carrie's VIP program. It's a lot less. It's $197 a month. It just doesn't include a couple of the things that mine include, but still, it might just be what you need. You can go to coderedlifestyle.com/VIP if you're interested in that. I encourage you to get connected, put measures in place so that this kind of crap does not happen to you. Don't let your mind talk you into stuff. My mind tries that crap too, and it's hard. And sometimes I give in. Don't let this happen. You can do this, but probably not on your own. I can't do it on my own. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next episode. Hey, I'm Cristy Code Red, and thank you for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you want to stay connected to other rebels like you, join us in our private network. Our Code Red app is a one-stop shop, free from ads, algorithms, and censorship, and a place where you can see, listen, and watch everything Code Red. You'll be encouraged, motivated, and fired up to stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Get recipe ideas, tips, tricks, and help from coaches, mentors, and other rebels. You can also purchase products, programs, and coaching all right there in one place. And if you have any trouble navigating the app, we're right there to help you. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/APP to join for free. And I'll see you on the next episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle.